When you think about some of the changes that are occurring right now as well as in the future, a question comes up: is humanity equipped to deal with these transitions and their impacts on livelihood systems? And I think that's one of the biggest questions that's driving our attempts here at the Resilience Academy when we're talking to each other. Do we have what we need? Do we know what we need to manage transitions so that you don't get abrupt shifts that cause disruption, but so that they're smoother? And that's a big challenge.
Well, in the past academies we usually only invited academia, and this was valuable. But this time we want to invite practitioners, policymakers, decision makers and academia. And this will help to better understand each other and to create awareness on each side. Finally, we want to have policy briefs, policy relevant research, and the papers should have impact in decision making.
One important goal for the Munich Re Foundation is that we would like to implement thoughts or aspects of disaster risk prevention into the debate of the Resilience Academy, because disaster risk prevention is, in our eyes, important for increasing resilience.
We are so proud to host it in Bangladesh for a number of reasons. One is that bringing these specialists, these movers and shakers, people who are trying to affect change and understand issues, to Bangladesh and allow them to have a platform for discussion and to question what a lot of things that have been taken for granted, such as what is resilience, what does it mean in our different contexts, and what does it mean to Bangladesh as well, as Bangladesh being a country which is regarded as a lead nation in climate change discussions. We hope that we can plant the seeds of collaboration here in Savar, in Bangladesh, so that people and institutions can kind of further these initiatives and ensure that work continue beyond the 5 years that are set forth by the Resilience Academy.
Resilience Academy for me is an excellent forum for practitioners and researchers to interact and contribute to a meaningful future.
It has been just a tremendous opportunity to network with other people critically thinking about how climate change is impacting our planet and the people who live in various vulnerable places around the world, and coming up with solutions so that we are resilient in the face of these changes.
One important aspect of this academy was to bring together these 3 different groups of researchers, policymakers, practitioners, and to really look at the issue of climate resilience together and work on it together, including going to the field. And this is something that here in Bangladesh I think is happening, this interaction between policymakers and researchers, and something that a country like Haiti needs.
I'm originally from the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago, and these topics are very important for islands and island nation states globally that are highly vulnerable yet extremely resilient. And looking at these questions through a livelihood lens allows us to understand and appreciate ways that we can ensure people in the high vulnerable areas of the world find ways to respond, to prosper, and to create creative and innovative solutions for themselves and for their children.
One of the things that I've learned at the Resilience Academy is the importance in Bangladesh of demonstrating that in order to address some of the coming climate change issues, we need to have good community level grassroots action. But I've also learned that that's not enough in itself. We also need top-down action by government and by civil society in order to prepare for the changes which are already happening.
One of the things I've learned is I've gotten new knowledge and skills for policy analysis, and that I will use to design programs and advise our members of parliament better.
The knowledge that I gain will definitely help me to do more research on the subject, and I also would like to develop some course units to offer to my students when I go back to Sri Lanka.
The Resilience Academy has been an amazing opportunity to network and meet other people who do this really great work from very different backgrounds and different circumstances. So what it's done is pushed me to think differently about how I think about and understand resilience in the post-disaster recovery and resettlement context.
The major takeaway I have from the Resilience Academy is to think broader and deeper about resilience.
What I learned from the Resilience Academy is that resilience is probably the most important goal to achieve sustainable development. But there are many issues related why brilliant minds should think about that, because it's such a deep and multifaceted concept that there's quite some thinking required in order to define what we mean by talking about resilience.